Hey internets, I'm Rev, and on this episode we're talking about a legal torrent on Pirate Bay, a device to amplify electronic signals, a kid whose head lights up like a bulb, and a cat that ignores the laws of physics. Get ready for the tear gas. It's episode 12 of Indie Game Riot.
Indie Game Riot! Hey everybody, it's JaShinYa, and this is episode 12, as Rev has stated. That's right, we're going in NPR tones now. Everyone talk. Very, dramatically? That's not the right word. Distinctly? Is that good?
Yeah.
Distinct.
Wait, if we're following NPR, does that mean that we can start doing like fundraisers?
We're not doing NPR. Although, man, I don't know. Although I was thinking about that. If we could get, I mean, this is for the future. This is meta casting as
Metacast.
this is as Tech would put it. But if we can, once we get the new website up. Mm-hmm. I was thinking, to get like even better, maybe like professional looking bumpers. Maybe we could. I don't know. We'll see how the audience feels about it. Go comment. Let us know if you would be willing to help support that kind of venture. If not, that's cool too. We'll stick with what we got. But anyway, how are things going, Tech?
Well, things are going pretty well. This last week, I actually spent doing a lot of fun stuff. It might seem to me all boring things to other people. But recently, I started pre-production on a short web series that I am producing / acting in called As Crows Fly. It is a steampunk web series based loosely around the 1860 sort of Civil War era United States, but obviously it's steampunk. And for those of you who don't know what steampunk is, it's sort of as if the Victorian era leaped forward in technology. So you have airships and steam-powered things and laser guns and crazy technology that you wouldn't have in the Victorian era and technology that we don't even have. And it's...
But still all the hair fetish.
Yeah, still all... What?
Yeah, that's a big trademark of the Victorian era. They had this tremendous hair fetish.
Mm-hmm.
And they would make like art out of people's hair.
Definitely. I've seen those, and like butterflies and like...
It's actually kind of cool, but gross at the same time for some reason.
But it's real hair, and it's still there. But I started working on the script for episode 1. We got a cameraman set up. I've been looking at lighting kits and a green screen, which, money and all that. And then I also have been working on some 3D elements in 3ds Max. And my entire day yesterday, from when I drove my girlfriend to work and when I picked her up, was me sitting in front of my computer texturing like 6 textures in 3ds Max, and it doesn't look very good, but it's getting there.
Oh, the tediousness.
5 hours.
Yeah, I don't know. Wait,
nothing to show for it.
Wait, what program are you using?
3ds Max.
I don't know what that is.
I'm more familiar with it. It's Autodesk. It's a 3D modeling program. I'm more used to Maya because I learned it a long time ago. But yeah, you can get it basically super cheap as a student. So
cool.
That's cool. Well, how about you, Reverend?
I have been babysitting my kids. We're not going this upcoming week, starting Monday morning. At release day for this is the start of Chaos Wars, the largest second largest and only week-long foam fighting event in the Western U.S. Up in Idaho, and we can't go this year because responsibilities and rent is kind of important. But all of our friends are going, so we've spent the last week gearing up for this. We've probably put in more work into this week helping other people get ready for Chaos Wars than we typically do when we go to Chaos Wars. So my husband and wife have been going balls out working on spears. We've built 15 spears and a bunch of shield covers and other stuff, and so I'm spending a lot of time with the kids, and not sleeping. I haven't gotten to bed before like 5 o'clock in the morning for the last bit of forever. Just because like the kids go to bed and it's like, oh, I can game now. And then I don't want to game. So I end up watching documentaries on YouTube and reading Star Wars books.
Yeah. What I got out of all of that is, can one really babysit one's own children?
Yes.
I don't know. It seems a little redundant because it's kind of your job already. But whatever.
Is it babysitting if they aren't babies?
Man, look at that deep philosophical questions posed by the Indie Game Riot hosts. There you go. You're welcome, everyone.
Definitely.
Yeah.
How about you, Josh? What's up with you?
Oh, thank you for asking. Thanks. I'm so glad.
Didn't want you to feel left out again.
Oh always.
If you don't have anything to talk about, you should mention what you guys did in the D&D campaign.
The D&D campaign we're playing after? I did have something to talk about, actually.
Oh, fine. You did it. Never mind. We will talk about that later then.
Well, now everyone's curious. Yes, we're playing a D&D campaign. And
we're not going to tell you anything about it until next episode.
I guess. Yeah. That's happening. So, but basically, I don't know. I'm still, first thing is it's getting tick-tock, tickety-tock, all the way down to the baby drop. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Man, look at that. That was like artistic prose right there. But other than that, I get more and more excited because every week we get more and more people contacting us saying, check out my game, check out my indie music now that we're doing that. And people giving us comments on how much they like the show. You don't even know, like Rev, last episode, you mentioning that guy from GameStop, even though I hope you're still listening out there, by the way, because I forget which one of us douchebags insulted you, but I'm sorry.
That was me.
Okay.
It was me because he recommended Goat Simulator to a public person.
I agree. I agree with that, but I apologize nonetheless.
I will take a trip to the GameStop. I will get my roommate to tell me which GameStop he went to, and I will go and I will shake his hand and be like, I didn't mean you're an actual dickbag. I just think you're a dickbag for suggesting that game.
It's not much better, but okay.
Bring an audio recorder. He'll be the first guest host, or
Yeah, bring an audio recorder. We'll play that. We'll put that in the last bit of the show. But yeah, I've just been really excited about that because it gets more and more every single week. We're making more and more contacts with everyone. We're hoping to get an interview sometime soon with. I'll leave that as a surprise. That's for who, but just. And
we're gonna have next week. We're gonna have a Indie Game Riot exclusive.
Oh yeah, Indie Game Riot exclusive.
And
meaning you're going to hear it first on Indie Game Riot, whatever news is coming out. Leave that as a surprise as well. But all this stuff just tickles my fancy. I like to mention that. So, again, thank you all for the support. And I hope our support to you is helping you out as well. So. Yeah, we're mushies. But,
no, it's a good mushy. It's a good. It makes my black stuff inside of me go
and then it just, as it's hugging you, it strangles you more. It turns from hug to strangle. But yeah, you know what else likes to strangle people?
Octopi.
Do they? I don't know. But anyway, it's definitely not Indie News Ejection. But we're going to move on to that anyway. Yeah.
Are you bored with the same old games?
Yeah.
Why, then give yourself an Indie News Injection.
Thanks, Indie Games.
And this week on Indie News Injection, we have some more unfortunate news. Do you remember when we were talking about, several episodes ago, we were talking about Earth 20-something and towns?
66 or something.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Something that's irrelevant now. Well, we have another game that was funded on Kickstarter, fully funded, and is now has been canceled completely. No more development. A company called Winter Cool or Kuel Games, that's Kewl at the end of it. They just couldn't do it. And the game that we're talking about has some prolific personalities behind it this time. That makes it even more interesting. If you don't know and haven't guessed already, it is called Yog Ventures. Like you, Rev, you didn't know?
I have no idea who this.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, Yog Ventures is a game basically based off the interest of making a game around themselves, I guess. Saying it that way makes it seem kind of narcissistic.
Ego?
But yeah. But basically, the Yogscast, they had this idea of making this open world RPG game. And they were going to use their the studio was paying them to use their likenesses in the game. The whole thing just kind of seems messed up to me now that just looking back on it, but it's the hindsight is 20/20 type of thing. But if you don't know, Yogscast is famous on YouTube for Let's Plays and mainly Minecraft type videos. And those the two main people that started the company, they are a company now, I guess, is Lewis Brindley and Simon something or other. I don't know, the guy who does the dwarf. And to be honest, I remember seeing this a year or two ago, some news on it, and it actually looked pretty nice from what I was looking at, because they even had like a little bit of a, like they had enough to run some gameplay video of it, like of what they had at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And it looked pretty nice. I was like, all right, this is kind of impressive. But I was a little doubtful from the beginning. One, just because of the whole, there was like that whole, it just seems like a conflict to have. It was Yogscast's idea to have that kind of a game. Winterkeel said, "Oh, we can make that game," and then is paying Yogscast to use their likenesses, even though it was Yogscast's idea. That just seems weird to me in the first place. And then on top of it, it's a game called Yog Ventures, and that's just very tailored to a specific community. You know what I'm saying?
A specific that raised almost more than $500,000.
Well, they have like 6 million subscribers.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can see how it got funded, and especially I'm sure they put their own money into it. And apparently, according to the article that I put on the thing, some guy from Winterkeel put supposedly $25,000 of his own money into it.
Yeah.
That's the distinction there. After the funds from the Kickstarter ran out.
But that's, I mean, how do you? It was over $500,000. How do you run out of money?
Okay, but you remember last week we were talking like, oh my gosh, they wanted $150,000.
And I think
Yogscast was asking for $250,000.
I think that is a ridiculous sum of monte.
Well,
But
you also have to consider.
But they have
about this.
They have the audience.
That's true, but they did talk about this. The representative from Winterkeel,
Whatever.
talked about how they basically just weren't meeting the quality expectations of, I guess, the producers, which is the Yogscast.
Are they producers? Because it seemed what they made it seem like is that they were like, yeah, you can use our likenesses for our idea, and you'll pay us for that. Even though I feel like it should be the other way around. But anyway, but then, are they really producers? Like, I mean, I'm sure they put some money into it, but
it seems based on what I read, because I read several articles on this, including a post directly from the leader of Winterkeel, they it seems to have been Winterkeel was friends with Yogs, and rephrase, some of the people at Yogscast were friends with some of the people in Winterkeel Games, and approached them and said, hey, we'd like you guys to do this. Do you want to do it? And they said, sure. And then they kickstart and they raised $500,000, and then 2 years later have blown through all of that. Now, I'm not going to see, and this goes back to that argument that we had last week. I'm not going to say that it's a shit ton of money, but for the scope of the game that they were making, that was not a whole lot of money.
Despite the amount of money, the fact of the matter is, they had a plan, and they had, okay, this is how much money we needed. They raised that and some, from what it sounds like, and then all of a sudden, what happened? Why did it not meet the quality? But what this all really comes down to is just back to that issue of the risks of crowdfunding and early access and pre-ordering and things like that, right?
Yes.
This is I think the big problem. I'm not trying to cut you off, Rev, but I think the biggest problem was the separation of collaboration and the sort of push and pull from, I guess, the game company, and then I guess their connection with the Yogscast, and they may have had a budgeting problem.
It just seemed like there's just a lot of really fishiness, and I'm not trying to say that that the customers were being scammed, but between the two between Yogscast and Wintercool, it just seems weird to me that Yogscast came up to Wintercool and said, "Hey, can you do this for us?" And then Wintercool is for some reason paying them. That's weird in the first place. Second is, like you said, there seemed to be kind of a disconnect between the two companies as it went on. And now it's Yogscast is saying we have no responsibility in this, and they, to their credit, they are trying to, like, they're going to give out free keys for the game Tug, which is something I have my eye on for maybe another show,
and also it's really cool, by the way.
Yeah,
it does look really cool.
It does look really cool. So there's that, but people didn't pay for Tug; people paid for this.
True.
Right.
So, but that's to their credit. But it's weird that they're just all of a sudden, oh, we're not responsible for this. And like one of the last things that they said in that article or in their statement is that if you want a refund, contact Wintercool. Like they're just throwing it all on Wintercool.
Well, if you want to get Wintercool is kind of the people that dropped the ball. Like
they are, but I'm just saying it's messed up. It's just throwing them under the bus. Like instead of like.
Is it really, or is it like okay? So hypothetically, if my roommate kickstarts a game and you two back said game, and he decides to, and you do that based on what he has out there and the fact that I'm promoting it to you guys, you come to me for said refund if he drops out. Yeah, sure. It's Reverend's Enormous Penis is the video game. You know, and he's gonna make it. You guys back it at $10,000 a piece, and
I'd just like to note that I would not back this, based on the obvious lies.
But what if it was marketed that way? What if it was good?
But
maybe it was.
That's like the Earth 2066.
That's true.
That's what that kind of lie is.
I think the biggest problem was.
But my point is, if I'm promoting that, if I'm the one that's pushing for it, and it's based on me and my enormous member, then you know, do you come to me, the person who was pimping it out, and say, "Hey, I want my $10,000 back," or you to go to the person that took the $10,000?
If you. Did you? So you're saying that you went to them and asked for that, right? I feel like if you there was a lot of mistakes. Probably I feel like Wintercool, they are legally responsible for it. I'm not arguing that. Okay. I'm pretty sure that. But the problem is just morally speaking, that it seems like Yogscast is like, it's almost like they used this company, and then when things went to shit, they're like, oh, hands off, we're clean.
Yes, but they're also still trying to make right.
Well, that's because their name's on it. That's the only thing. If their name on it, if it was called Fun Ventures, and it was still Yogscast idea, but it was just called Fun Ventures, and it wasn't their likeness or anything like that, they'd be like, we had nothing to do with this.
I think you're kind of assuming that, but
I am.
I kind of get you.
I am.
I kind of see if these people were the same mentality that we see out of like EA and Activision, then I could see that being possible.
Right.
But at the same time, like I'm in reading everything that I've been reading on this subject, I'm not seeing that they're like trying to dodge anything. They're like, dude, it really kind of sucks, and you know, we're going to try and make this right.
Yeah.
And, you know, it clearly it was a failure of the developers, not the Yogscast, since they're not developers, and they made that very clear in the Kickstarter.
And you mentioned too, like in your example about your overstated junk. That I talk like I've seen it, but anyway. But I'm talking like you mentioned, like, okay, well, based on like their past, this company had no past. This is their first venture into programming. That I think was a mistake to begin with on Yogscast part to even think that.
It could be. At the same time, it could also not be because some of the first games that some of the most renowned developers in the world made are absolutely fantastic.
Well, like I hate to bring this up, but Phil Fish, he never did a game before Fez.
And it was absolutely fantastic, and I'll still fight you on that one.
It was a good game. But the thing is, it's just that's a risk, and you have to be like a game on this scope. And then not to mention you're putting these people in a position to budget out $500,000. These people that probably have never made more, and this is just assuming, but they haven't made more than $30,000 a year. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but still probably not anywhere close to $500,000.
They're in Hollywood, California, so they have to in order to survive.
Well, okay. Well, you know what I'm saying. It's not. I doubt they've been making $500,000 a year.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they get this, and they're expected to somehow budget it like a professional company when they've never done it before. On top of the fact that being their first game, I mean, it took Phil Fish over 4 years to come out with Fez because he's never done it before. He wasn't efficient because he's never done it before. These people are the same way. And they had all this money, and they had a specific time, and it wasn't up to quality because they haven't done it before. And they were inefficient with it, which means it takes more time, more resources, more money. So I think that's what happened that's how I'm seeing this whole chain of events. And I think there's also probably more stuff happening in the background that we're just not hearing about as well. That's just my guess.
That's a possibility.
And I think this really showcases less that everyone should be like, oh, never back anything anymore because new game studios aren't going to be able to put out.
No, for the love of God, please back stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And it's more of a cautionary tale of understand that, like, greenlighting and kickstarting or Indiegogoing or whatever you want to do has its risks because you're not buying a product.
As with any investment.
Yeah, exactly. It is an investment. You're basically playing the stock market like light.
It is,
like,
it's an investment. I mean, you're not getting a monetary return, but you are getting a return in the perks.
Right.
But just like with a monetary investment, where you're getting a monetary return, you might not get all that back or any of it back.
And sort of the unfortunate things too. And this is, I say unfortunate. If I was part of this and I pledged a lot of money, I would probably look at this a different way.
Yeah.
But I mean, these companies, like we've been saying, are putting this idea out there, and people are giving them money to make this idea. It isn't I'm giving you money for a game that you never gave me, which means you stole my money. Like, nothing was technically stolen from the people.
Yeah.
No, and it's all within the agreement when you pledge too, that exactly. That you're signing off that that there's a risk and you may not get what you get. You know what I mean?
On the project for your rewards, you are according to Kickstarter TOS, you have to get your rewards.
Well, but they're not going to be able to because there is no game.
No, they are.
There's no game.
There's no game, but the special T-shirt and the VIP access
stuff already shipped.
Yeah, most of that probably already has, and according to one of the articles, the vast majority of it is.
But the main reason people do this is for the game, and there is no game. And I know, like I said, they're giving out tug keys, and they were talking about getting some other stuff in there, but that's not what people paid for. So there is. So does that make it? Because I've never. A long time ago, I attempted to do a Kickstarter for some other podcast, and I got rejected because this is not the kind of project that we like to fund. I was like, okay. But anyway, I don't really have experience with the creating part of Kickstarter. So is there a legal responsibility now that even though they're trying to replace it, but they're still not getting what they wanted in the first place?
There is not at the moment, according to previous lawsuits, etc., and stuff like that. As long as they deal with the physical rewards, the pledge level rewards, then there is absolutely no guarantee that Kickstarter will take that says you get this. It's basically venture capitalism. It's venture funding,
crowdfunding.
Yeah.
But
I didn't even really think about here is that $500,000 is a lot, but you're right. T-shirts cost money, buttons cost money, merch and swag costs money.
Well, that should also be budgeted into that. What they're asking for.
That's very true.
But
it should, but again.
Yeah.
It was a first-time project for these people, which I do. Given the big thing about this one for me is the sheer scope of the game. Like
it should have been given to someone. I think the whole idea was a bad idea in the first place. That's just my personal opinion, but just as far as the game goes. But
I would say it's more pipe dream than a bad idea.
Like
it's a great idea.
Well, yeah, if someone made an Indie Game Riot game like that, I'd be like, wow, yeah, do it. But
no.
Really,
I'm talking the actual game features itself. Like the fully, it's a randomly generated game world, much like Minecraft. It's fully shapeable terrain, so you, the player, can build a mountain range or create an ocean, etc. NPCs, creatures, like this whole thing. You have the ability to build your own game inside this game, and it sounds absolutely amazing. It's like every game builder's or dungeon master's wet dream.
I'm just saying, in my opinion, I think they should have left it more open as far as like the licensing goes. And then the mistake is that, oh yeah, you're my friend, so I can count on you. Not that you shouldn't count on your friends, but you also should know their limitations. I think if they really wanted to do this game, they should have contacted a more experienced, I was going to say legitimate, but it's not to say that Wintercool isn't legitimate, but I would say more experienced development studio.
Well, the founder of Wintercool has stated in his thing was, we made a mistake. We were trying to do this. We agreed to, apparently there was a big slew of feature creep or scope creep that they kept coming up, and they were missing deadlines and all of that. So what do you do with the $500,000 and maybe Yogscast will get something together, because they now own all of the rights and everything, all of the assets. Wintercool turned that over to them.
Sorry, bumping the mic. Are they turning it over to them as like a?
The quote is, "The Yogscast has been given full ownership of all things Yog Ventures,
is
all work that's been done up to this point: code, art, project files, etc."
Is that because of breach of contract? Like maybe there was a contract and they were like,
Wintercool doesn't exist anymore.
They're going bankrupt.
Okay,
their website no longer exists. It's not hosted. That
stinks too.
They're talking about having to file bankruptcy. The owner got divorced over this project.
Jesus, I would this is just me. I know I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but this is just me. If I was the guy who ran Wintercool, I would hate the people in Yogscast for life. They ruined his life, and I know it's not their fault, directly. But just the whole, I was like, you brought this to me. You know what I mean?
He seems to be pretty even-headed about this. Now, granted, it is a public, quasi-public statement that he put out. But he had the stress of working full-time and full-time working on the game. Got divorced, and he had to take a medical leave and almost lost his job, and this seems to have been a really stressful thing for them, and I kind of wish that they had been able to pull through on it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also can appreciate them knowing when to call it quits.
Yeah. And the fact that they're doing it as professionally as possible.
And I never like to hear about a company going under like that, especially after their first try. I wish what would have happened is that they would have taken something on a smaller scale and built up from that. But
yeah, or at least released hey guys, I know this is late, but here's a build of it. It doesn't work. support this, but they didn't have the money for it. So
I think that maybe I hope if this is really that guy's dream who owned Wintercool, if it's really his dream to make video games, I hope he's able to start over and learn from this, and build his life back up, because it sounds like he's kind of just really in a bad place right now for the most part.
Well, I mean, he could always try doing some free games.
I see what you did there with the segue.
Now this isn't our free fun, but it could have been.
I didn't even think about doing it that way.
Yeah.
I really like my free fun game.
Because it's harder to explain than free fun. But what we are talking about now is the Pirate Bay bundle. Now, for those of you who don't know what Pirate Bay is a torrent site.
And also, if you don't know what the Pirate Bay is, you probably don't have the internet.
That's
true. You probably aren't listening to this anyway.
Yeah, exactly. There's a big bundle of free games created by indie devs that were compiled by one dude whose name is currently hiding from me. He goes by Mosh Boy. It is 101 free games, including browser-based games that he got files to run on PC from the people who presented them. And then some of the links in the download are just for browser links, but they all work. And that's 100 games, and it's kind of hard to review 100 games, but I have 10 of them. And I'm going to attempt to do them all in 1 minute.
Are these the 10 best games?
These are some of the best, and a few of them that are like okay, but a lot of them were actually pretty good.
And a lot of them were pretty bad.
I didn't play a lot of them. There are 100 of them.
Yeah.
I maybe played and this is the 10 that I really liked. So everyone out there, get your timers and try to keep up.
Drum roll.
And if you guys have questions about these afterwards,
I'm gonna time it actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I was grabbing my cell phone so I could grab the timer.
So I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible. I've reversed it a few times.
1 minute, right?
1 minute and change. So if I'm a few seconds over.
Oh, no. You said 1 minute.
1 minute? All right.
So are we ready to go with this? If it's not 1 minute, what's the punishment here? Rev, what should the punishment be?
I'm no good at this. My game of escalation is bad.
Tech will have to sing a verse out of an operetta, and we will play it on one of our episodes.
All right, we'll figure that.
Okay.
All right, so are you guys ready?
Or something similar to that. Yep. Go.
All right. Tell me when to go.
Ready? All right. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, and then on go. Okay. So ready? All right.
Keep up.
3, 2, 1, go.
First one's 45 Guys, One Brain, a puzzle game where you have 45 clones that all move when one moves. Great puzzle with a bunch of killy death. Conky Dong, you play as Donkey Kong's cousin who's much better at throwing barrels at the stupid plumbers. Onwards Jetpack, you have a jetpack so powerful it will kill you. Pass it off to people so you can fend off aliens. Yes, aliens. Shoot, I've Got Abducted, one of my favorites. An animated point-and-click adventure kind of like Space Quest. Good puzzles and pretty funny. Make sure you can scoot with the dialogue. Siegfault, a twist on the shmup genre. Your ammo is your sucked-up enemies fast like this list. Fun like a clown on acid. Bullet Collect. Bullet hell game where all the bullets are... Some of the bullets are points, others are death. Fun music and a scoreboard a la Galaxy Pinball. Isles of Color, top-down movement mechanic-based. Adventure, collect them all. Different color rooms, different movement pads, a bunch of different movement mechanics. It's fun. Santa's Deadly Descent, go through hell as Santa. Your score is how far you've fallen. Collect Santa stuff. Schrodinger's Kittens, you start out with one, you get a lot more. It gets Millennium Falcon Fast, Missile Rider, you ride missiles. That's about all I could get from it. 10 games!
You with 9 seconds to spare.
Wow!
Yeah.
Nice. High five.
Like a clown on acid.
Everyone's gonna have to rewind that part and just listen to it in slow motion so they can know what the hell you were talking about.
In case you guys missed that, 45 Guys, One Brain, Conky Dong, Onwards Jetpack, Shoot, I've Got Abducted, which is seriously one of my favorites. Siegfault, Bullet Collect, well, it's actually Bullet Collect, Isles of Color, Santa's Deadly Descent, Schrodinger's Kittens, and Missile Rider.
There you go. So if you're looking for games to pick out of that list,
yeah,
those are some of the games.
Except for Missile Rider. Missile Rider, I played it and it played, but I kept getting 0 points. I didn't know exactly what to do.
So I was so looking forward to you. I was thinking either operetta or maybe something really fruity. I don't know.
No, man, I practice this. And you
That's a shame. But I've never before I wanted you to fail so bad.
Yeah, that's true. But, yeah.
Well, as far as the actual conversation points of this go, I do have to say, I mean, it's cool that they're putting like a legal thing out there, but at the same time, I feel like it's more of a pain in the ass to download it on my computer rather than just go to the various websites and support those websites because I mean,
they're all files. You can open the files as you want.
Well, just like for instance, I know there's a couple of games on there on Newgrounds, and you go to Newgrounds.com, you're supporting Newgrounds, and they have ad sharing revenue, which is also supporting the thing. So if you're torrenting it, I mean the games are free in the first place, but you're torrenting it, then they get nothing.
That's true.
So that's my like, I'd still would rather play it on the thing on the.
True. Go ahead, Rev.
Yeah. Okay, I was going to say, so in that case, what's preventing you from going to the torrent site, getting the complete list, just the list of the games, and then go, like the browser-based games, he says he went out and contacted the developers and got the, got offline files. I think it's a brilliant idea. Like, you've got 101 games that you can play offline that ultimately have no DRM, that,
It is cool that you can play it offline if you really like the game.
Yeah.
If you're like, I don't know, on a plane or something and you can't be connected to the internet. It's cool. It's cool for that. I get that. And I think it's cool too because, it is opening it up to a new, like another audience that may not necessarily go to those websites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool too. Me personally, I visit Newgrounds and a bunch of those websites. So I feel like I'm supporting them more if I go to those various websites, and I don't have to take up space on my computer.
Also included in the torrent are links to every single game.
True that.
I think maybe like one or two of them don't actually have links, but they're games that I've never heard of anyway. And they have like actually, let's open up the torrent file here.
And text
that because but yeah, it's like there's this huge text doc. Whoa, what's going on?
That really confused me right there.
What the hell? That was weird ad that just popped up. Sorry about that.
What are you looking up, man?
I don't know.
That was like a Google Ads. Like that was a Google Ads that uses your cookies.
Who uses pop-ups?
That was Wait. What are you looking up, Tech?
I don't know. I was to be fair.
Are you a boy or are you a girl?
I don't know.
I don't know. What am I? That's what Tech said.
Lots of free indie games, like over 100 indie games, and I just listed 10 of them in 1 minute. So now you have to check it out.
And you were talking about taking up space on your computer. It's a gig.
You're
it's
a gig.
1.03 gigs.
Well, I'm just saying, people like me and, Casey, the Whizfish, that's been on the show a couple times.
Yeah.
Like, he recently, just completely wiped his computer and put the OS on a SSD drive. But, or solid state drive, I should say. And same thing, whatever. But before that, he was the type of person that would have to, like, in order to have something new, even, something just a gig, it was like, man, it was like, I'm going to have to, delete something. He's like a computer hoarder, and I'm that way too. Actually, I have to watch my memory.
That's your I have a 400 gig hard drive on my laptop, and I have formatted it.
I have a terabyte.
So it's a gig. That's
almost filled.
But my point, if you're hoarding that much, you really need to clean out your shit.
How about I clean out your face with my fist?
It's really easy. It's really easy to delete. It's all in one file. You just select delete.
I'm just saying it's more practical in my mind.
It's a good point. I will say that one of these games is definitely worth downloading.
Okay.
Out of all of them, the one that really stuck out to me was Shoot, I Got Abducted. It's an animated point and click adventure, kind of like Space Quest. The puzzles are actually really cool. The dialogue is awesome if you are a quick reader and can understand sort of country-ish words. That's why I said make sure you can scoot with the dialogue. The art's cool, the animation's really smooth, and it was a whole lot of fun. Like I was like, okay, shoot, I got abducted. I bet you this is going to be like this is going to be like an abduction game. No, it's a point and click adventure that's fun as hell.
I love point and clicks. I do kind of want to play that now.
At least download that one. Just
we got a point and click later in the show too.
That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if anyone has anything else to talk about the fact that there's I think it's legal. I'm pretty sure it's legal on the Pirate Bay to download all these games.
Well, it is because they give like you said, he contacted them for the files, and on top of the fact that they're all free games in the first place, put into the Creative Commons. I'm pretty sure they're all Creative Commons for the most part, right?
Yeah, probably. Because they were all free to begin with.
One question though.
Okay.
What are you looking up on your Google, man? I'm not gonna let it go.
Okay, you know what it is? I think what it is I was in a tab. I open a Pirate Bay and I click on the browser to like scroll, and I must have clicked an ad that opened up in a new tab. Probably.
Anyway, we'll go ahead. I won't point the spotlight on you anymore. Anyway, it was just funny. Anyway, yeah. So,
what a girl.
Yeah. Starting the riot, I think we'll be up next because we've been talking a while about stuff. Start the riot.
All right, everybody, for this week on Starting the Riot, we have a game that some of you may have heard of and some of you might not have. It is a game called Transistor. It is by Supergiant Games. You may know Supergiant Games from making a little game called Bastion.
Oh, yeah, I love Bastion.
Tiny game.
Amazing game. Definitely pick it up if you haven't. It's totally worth it. And Transistor is their new game that they recently released on May 20th, 2014. It's for PlayStation 4 and PC. And you play as a girl who, in a sci-fi themed world, who has this sword thing. It's huge.
It looks like a microchip.
Yeah, it's like a microchip, but it's also a sword and
like Buster Sword type.
Yeah. And it basically talks to you and tells you sort of what to do. But the gameplay might surprise you because you might think to yourself, "Oh, I have this really big sword. I'm going to use it to hit stuff." Well, not exactly.
Well, no.
You can use the sword to hit things, but that's not really where the core gameplay lies. You have full control over time and where everything goes, and the different ways your different spell attacks sort of happen. So it's this mixture of a action RPG, a top-down asymmetric top-down RPG, mixed with these really cool real-time turn-based elements.
It reminds me a lot of, it's like a mixture of Bastion with like Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can basically pause at any point in time, figure out what you want to do, and then replay and sort of have it go. Or you can do it in real time, but the way that they've designed the levels is for you to really have to think about it tactically, because the powers that you have and the way that the levels are set up and what you actually have to do really works well with the way they design the gameplay. And it's beautiful.
I have to say that some of the most awesome cosplays for this character too.
Like, and fan art.
Yeah.
And what's great is that it's such a good thing. It's not a brand, but it's a great what's the word I'm looking for? Mascot. Because it's a great character, like
icon. I think it's
icon is the perfect is perfect for that. But it's iconic. Like, you think Bastion, you think, oh, that's a really cool game, but you don't really think about the guy or the weapons that he had.
No, you think about the soundtrack, that amazing soundtrack,
and that dude talking.
Oh yeah, the narrator.
Yeah.
And then with here, you think of this huge microchip sword with a mind of its own, and you're like, that's
flaming redheaded woman in a yellow
exactly.
and black.
Like, Like, if that isn't symbolism, I don't know what is, you know?
Wait. Tell me exactly, what does it symbolize?
Freud. Okay, so like gameplay wise, it kind of has that MOBA or RTS or Bastion feel to it.
And I know
Kind of.
Rev's like, you don't like him.
I've been working on that. I've been working on that and watching the videos of this and you know the ability to pause combat and think a bit more tactically than, you know, clicks per second. It definitely seems to have some draw for me. I'll say
with how enemies like show up in the maps as well.
Yeah,
You have this sort of like idea of time, and it's cool. Like, games don't really. I haven't seen a lot of games that make you think like this.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of games that make you think, but this mix of level design plus gameplay mechanic plus story, it's hard to do, but we know from Bastion and now Transistor that Supergiant Games knows what they're doing.
Well, obviously. and you talked about the storytelling. Storytelling is supposedly probably like, out of like the three things, there's the gameplay mechanics, there's the style, and then there's the story. And actually four things, because like the music in this game is pretty amazing too. I still think Bastion is better. I love Bastion soundtrack, but like I rarely listen to video game music, like just in like my you know, just
playlist.
Normally just don't casually listen to video game music, but I would to Bastion. But anyway, Transistor is not too far behind that. They also have an amazing soundtrack, really cool art, and then like you said, the story just sucks you in. Oh,
definitely. You can't stop.
Yeah.
And another really important thing that I found with this game is that it isn't Bastion.
No.
You might look at it and you're like, oh, that kind of looks like Bastion.
I mean, you can
Bastion.
You can see. It's almost like in music or really in anything artistic. There's that artist particular.
Yeah.
It's like a trademark for the artist, and you can tell it's by Supergiant Games because of how they did Bastion.
It does not look the same, but it looks similar.
No.
But
it's
it's
completely different game.
They are completely different. Both are worth playing in their own right, and $20.
$20 definitely worth it.
What is the? Let's go into the story a little bit, if you don't mind. What is the story of Transistor? Like, just high level.
So, you have amnesia. This is what I've gathered, because I haven't played a whole lot of it. But you have amnesia, and you're trying to like figure out what's going on. And I didn't get much farther than that. But it's basically based around like mysteries and like unlocking its power and
finding out its former owners. Oh, okay. I kind of get you.
So, I mean, that sounds kind of, when you put it like that, though, it kind of sounds cliche, but it's not.
But it's really not.
It's not.
Well, everything at the high level kind of is, so.
Yeah. I think, like you said, it's just that very surface of the story. And once, I think, you get deeper into it, Tech, the fact that you've only discovered that much of the story and it's already like I need to keep playing a little bit.
It draws you in and it
right.
doesn't make you stop.
Right. So, you were talking about... I'm losing my train of thought here. Crap.
You had something. While you're trying to figure that out, you can also download the soundtrack, because you were talking about soundtracks, for $9 digital, or you can pay $15 and not only get the digital but also get a disc.
Ooh, they should. Oh man, they can. That's like, it just brings me back to Indie Box. By the way, we haven't mentioned it, and they're not like sponsoring us or anything like that, but I still go check out Indie Box. Anyway, back to Transistor.
You buy Domino's.
Yeah.
You buy Domino's.
But $20 for this game. $20 for this game is if I've played through most of Bastion. I still haven't beat it yet, and I really want to go back to it. But $20 for this game, if it's anything like Bastion, I get the feeling that it's longer, mostly because of the game mechanic. It's going to take longer because you got to think through it.
And Bastion isn't a short game.
No. But $20 for this game. I mean, a lot of times people are like $20 for an indie game, but this is a well-known studio. They've put out Bastion, and this game is going to give you that $20 worth of content if you're worried about that.
That just the music is.
Yeah, and the soundtrack in itself is probably worth that. Inside that $20 too, it's worth it.
Think of it like this: you could either go out to dinner to a restaurant with somebody, or play Transistor for like 3 days. I mean,
well, you could get laid after the dinner. So just kidding.
Super hot redheaded chick.
Oh man, what if you went to dinner? And the girl that you're with cosplays as this chick and she has this game, and then you go home and play the game.
Make it happen, Super Giant Games.
Yeah. Super Giant Games matchmaking.
Yeah.
That's their specialty.
That'll be the best.
We're horrible. We are horrible people.
It's on the floor.
And just so you know, it is on also PSN and Steam,
yeah,
but not Xbox Live. Sorry, Xbox.
And you can download it, either through Steam or through their website. If you don't want to do the whole Steam kit and caboodle.
No, you cannot.
Are you sure?
You can buy it on their website.
It gives you a Steam key.
Oh, no, it's only on Steam. You're right.
But but you can buy it on their website though.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying it was like it's right there, Rev.
No, it's
I was
right there, but it has that little piece redeemable via Steam for Windows only.
Oh, and
Windows only. That was the other thing I was looking for.
Yeah, Windows only. And Tech, you always make a big deal about gouging European and British for euros and pounds. They also make the
see, good for them.
There you go.
They are not hardware developers. They know what they're doing.
So, I mean, do you guys like that? Because, I mean, not everyone's into that tactics kind of gameplay because they feel it's too slow. A lot of times you gotta be. It's almost like you got to be a fan of chess in order to play a tactics game. Although, obviously, this has a lot more going on. But you know what I'm saying. Yeah,
it's not. I wouldn't say it's actually very slow, because you are still doing a lot of things all the time. It's not like in like a Civ game when you're playing with another person and you're waiting an hour for them to finish their turn, and that's one of the reasons why I don't like Civ games, or turn-based strategy in general. But it feels more like not necessarily pausing to figure out what you're doing next. It's more pausing to do really awesome stuff, because you're not just pausing to be like, all right, I actually want to run this way instead, and then hit them, and then pause, and then run a different direction so they miss. It's like, no, I'm going to pause this, make a spell set off here, do this thing over there, and both of these are going to go happen at the same time. Then I'm going to go dash over here and do this, and it's like you're doing a bunch of stuff that the game is allowing you to do via pausing time and figuring out what you do.
And one other thing too is because I'm reading through their FAQ, and I'm looking at, because they're an independent developer, but they have a publisher who is a big company. They actually publish Warner Brothers, who also helped them with distribution on Bastion. Now I think publisher, all they have to do, I mean, they help with some capitalism or venture capitalists. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Thank you. Venture capital.
Funding.
Whatever. And they help with distribution and that sort of thing. So, but it's still a small studio with people who have close ties to this, and I don't think, I mean, they have to, obviously they can't be as like controversial as some other games are. If they're going to go through like a company like this, but do you think that affects their indie cred, their indie street cred?
I actually have the exact answer from their FAQ.
Okay.
The question, where did you get funding for Transistor? And they say, as with Bastion, we are self-funding Transistor, and we have not sought or accepted funding from any outside sources.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. And apparently pretty much the reason why they made this is because they were able to, is because they've invested money from Bastion into this game.
Well, of course. I mean, Bastion, yeah. I'm sure Bastion's made them millions. So I'm sure they can, they have the funding. They're good. And Transistor is going to continue their line.
And they
of
have
work.
a 10-man team. Or 10-person team, sorry.
So in case before anyone jumps in the comments and like they're not an independent publisher, Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers is only responsible for the distribution part of the game. Similar to Microsoft did with like Super Meat Boy. Yeah. It's not that they didn't fund it; they're just allowing them a distribution through various networks.
And what that means is that this company, Supergiant Games, will be able to actually just get their game on Steam and get their game on PlayStation 4
faster.
Well, exactly, because through Steam, because they're technically an independent developer, they would have to go through the Steam Greenlight system.
Or early access. And no company wants to do that with a game that's already done that they want to sell. So especially one with a reputation like them.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, obviously it'll get greenlit, but you have to wait for it to get greenlit, and you have to wait for Steam to do all their stuff. Whereas if you go through a publisher, you basically tell Steam, you tell the publisher, hey, publisher, Steam.
Game.
And the publisher goes, hey, Steam, and then Steam goes, okay. And so that's one reason why an indie developer would go through a publisher, kind of like with Super Meat Boy and Microsoft, because they just Xbox done
right.
Xbox, Microsoft,
yeah.
done.
Although Super Meat Boy is a little bit
Cool.
different.
I'm sold.
Anyway, if you want to,
I'm totally sold on this.
If you want to check out more Transistor, I know it's not like the newest game. It came out like you said in May, but I wanted to point this out because it's fairly new, and we don't usually do too many like big games. I try and stick to smaller games because they need the help.
But this game's just too damn good to pass up.
But I loved Bastion, and talk about a company with game integrity.
Yeah.
If that's a good phrase. So
that's a phrase.
This is it. Go buy it. We'll put the link in the description as always. Now, talk about a light in the dark for games. What we have up next.
The red light district?
Red light district.
More like green light. No, yes, green light.
The theme is lights, people. We're going on a peep show.
Please give all your attention to early access.
And this week on Peep Show, we have a very, very special game close to my heart. I don't know why it is, but it just is. I don't know. It's every time I think about it, it grows on me. I call it cute horror because that's what it is. It's a horror point-and-click game that just makes you go, oh, and then he dies horribly. And that he is, of course, Bulb Boy, and that's also the name of the game. Bulb Boy.
Bulb Boy?
Bulb Boy, as in light bulb.
Yes.
His head is a light bulb.
Yes.
Point-and-click games. We don't usually do too many point-and-click games on this episode or on this show, which I think we should.
Is the point-and-click episode.
I love point-and-click games personally, and something creative as this is really cool. Now I do have to say it is on Kickstarter, Bulb Boy. They're looking for $40,000, and at the time of this recording, they have 8 days to go. So that means by when this comes out, hopefully nothing gets in the way of it coming out on Monday. It'll have. Yeah, five.
3. Can we even math?
Five. I can't even math. No, I think it's 5 days to go.
It would be 5.
Yeah, 5 days to go, and they're almost to 11,000. 11,000 out of 40,000. So I'm hoping the majority of backers end up coming the last couple of days. In most Kickstarter campaigns, as a parent, like a Song for Vigo, he made his thing last minute. He made his goal. So I'm hoping that something similar happens for Bulb Boy, because there is no excuse for this not to be closer to its goal.
Yeah.
Not to mention all the notice it's been getting. I'm very surprised by it. Because they have even a list of people who have mentioned it and said they liked it. You're talking like big YouTubers like PewDiePie, Markiplier, Jesse Cox, but also big online mags: Indie Static, Rock Paper Shotgun, IGN, Joystick.
How Rock Paper Shotgun? Seriously?
Yeah, I think.
How are they not funded already?
Right, all these big publications online and
IGN.
IGN being the biggest probably. And and they still don't have the funding. I don't understand it. I mean, even PewDiePie himself has backed it, according to them, and he has 28 million people who potentially watch his video, and you're telling me that not enough of them came up with $40,000 between the 28 million people. I don't know.
And
it's
not only that, but $15 for the digital copy, exclusive thank you, iOS, Android version, and the stretch goal.
Yeah, and what's really upsetting to me too is that, I mean,
If the stretch goal gets
first of all, the art is beautiful. The sound is amazing in this game. It is just a point and click, but there are point and clicks out there that you talk about mechanics, and you're just like clicking, and it's like the hitbox is like ridiculous.
Yep.
But they did this well. But talk about the stretch goals, and it bothers me that it's not getting funded like for what they want, just basically for the basic game. And then I was reading through their stretch goals and all the awesome stuff that they could add if they got more too, and it just makes me sad.
So,
but at the same time, it's those stretch goals. I never back based on stretch goals. Like
no, but it's just the potential.
The potential.
and they have like it looks like they have so much of this game like already done.
No, I think, and from the sounds of it too,
but
the sounds of it too is that the funding is basically so they can get the game done within a good amount of time. They want to work on it full time for a year, and they think they can get it done within that year. If they don't get funded, what it seems like is that they're still going to do it, but they got bills and shit, so I can relate to that. And it's probably going to take a lot longer if they all have to work, day jobs at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Well, it has been greenlit on Steam.
I don't understand how that works though, because if it's not actually done.
I don't know either, but anyways, it has been.
Oh, come on, guys!
Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
No, I just said it has a demo.
Oh, it has a demo. That's why. Gotcha. No, so it's been greenlit. The art is fantastic. What do they have a breakdown on what they're going to be using this for? Because that's something that interests me, especially after the last couple of Kickstarters we've talked about.
They do. $40,000 I think is very reasonable for a game, especially something like this. And I think I scrolled past it.
Here, I don't have the.
I have it. They have a little. Here we go. There's nothing specific as far as like amount to goes. It's kind of like a pie chart, but there's no like percentages. It's not a pie chart. It's a bulb chart actually, in the shape of a light bulb. But they sliced it and the amounts of approximately like how much the money is going to. The majority of it is going towards development. Basically, what that means is to support them so they can work on it full time. So they can get it done within a year. The other things that the money would be going towards software licenses, the software that they need to make the game, printing, which is probably for whatever. Maybe I don't know. They might be. Are they doing like physical copies? Is that why?
Let's
or maybe for like merchandise or something. I'm not really sure.
Yes, you can get a digital DVD. You can get a physical copy of the game.
Provisions. Which is pretty general, but that's a small slice, and at the smallest would be various taxes that they would have to pay.
Okay. So it seems reasonable. They need what, like $30,000 or just under $30,000 left to go.
Right.
I got rent coming up.
By the way, if the biggest tier that you can fund for is $1,000, and only one person can do this. For the reward, you can donate as much as you want, but only one person can claim the reward. And you can, for $1,000, you can co-design one of the rooms. That's a whole level, people, that you can help them design. So any ideas that you have to scare the players, because this is a horror game in the end, any ideas to have that you can scare the players with, use your imagination, all that sort of stuff, plus everything else that you get in the other tiers. And for $1,000, I think that's pretty cool, actually, to have that's like a foot in the door in development world, to be honest.
Yeah.
And let's see, 120. Put your name in the game's credits. They're doing it. They're doing a physical box for $90.
That's what actually you can get it for $50. You can get the standard box, and then for $90 you can get the fat packed physical DVD. Plus digital, plus exclusive, thank you, plus printed book, plus soundtrack, T-shirt, stickers,
all that fun stuff.
Lot of stuff.
And basically, like you said, point-and-click horror adventure, but to give you a better idea of what you're going to be playing, the game is inspired by games like I'm going to try and pronounce this Machinarium. Thank you. I think Machinima, whatever.
Yeah.
And Goblins. You solve puzzles. There's monsters and bosses that you have to defeat by using your wits. And you gotta go around saving your family. Basically, Bald Boy, a boy's head who lights up, is basically a light bulb. He can use it to emit heat, shock bad guys or things like that. He can unscrew it and then like light up the inside of a cabinet based on what I've seen in the demo.
Yeah.
And there's like flashbacks too. There's actually a deeper story behind his family and like what happened, why his house is has the issues that it has apparently because all the monsters. There's playable flashbacks that on top of the actual playing through the actual main story of the house where you're trying to get rid of the monsters. And it's cute. I know you, Rev. You don't like horror.
But he likes cute.
But you like cute.
He likes cute.
And so you're gonna suck me into the horror with the cute.
Dude, it's demo.
It's like they drive up with a van, offer you candy, and pull you in. That's what they're doing with that.
Yeah, but the candy's still there in the van when you get in.
Exactly, and it's actually candy. It's actually candy, just on top of a penis.
Possibly.
But yeah, you could play with like your wife or something, or your husband. I don't know if does your husband like games?
He does game. Yeah.
All right, you could play it with them. Like they could like hold your hand while you do it. Or Tech and I can be on Skype while you do it and just like, give you moral support.
Give me the moral support to play a horror. Okay.
And by moral support, I mean laughing my ass off at you screaming. So, but yeah, it's. Come on, guys. Go support this game. Please do it. Do it.
It needs the money. It's cool.
Any other last thoughts?
I think that this is going to be the next oh my god, I can't remember the name. What's the game where you like play as the kid and Limbo? This is going to be the next Limbo.
I can see that.
Well, as far as stylistically, you mean, or like the darkness of it?
Exactly, but also how it got received. Yes, just
all right. I'll give it to you. Whatever.
They're not the same game. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But no,
the point and clicks are there's a finite audience for point and clicks, but I think even people that don't really play point and clicks will enjoy this game.
Yeah,
that's how cool it looks. Any last thoughts, Jim?
No, I don't think I got anything.
No. Then it's time for guess what time?
9:00.
Free fun.
Winner, chicken dinner. Free fun.
And on today's episode of Free Fun, my browser just froze up, but we have HatCat and the obvious crimes against the fundamental laws of physics. This is actually an awesome game. I've put significant amount of time into this and have not gotten very far because I'm a perfectionist. Your main character is a cat and his hat changes. He smokes a pipe as he goes around. Really fun. It's one of those kind of puzzly platformy types. You have the ability to create a infinite loop of a box. So you have your objective over here, and he's on a platform over here, and you got to get him to the other side, but he can't jump. So you draw your little box, click and drag, and he walks through the edge and falls down onto the one below it and moves on to the next. Lots of fun. I'm told that the colors are cute and vibrant. The puzzle aspect is a really big part for me. The music is adorable, as is the main character, HatCat.
Who wears different hats.
he wears different hats.
And he's a cat who smokes a pipe.
Exactly.
The pipe right there. That's classy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought the first time I saw him, I was like, oh, they're going for like Sherlock Holmes, and then I realized, no, there's more to this. Like he's got a Robin Hood cap, he's got a fez, he's got a fedora, diving bell helmet.
Just as an FYI, too, it's on itch.io, itch.io, whatever you want to call it. It's on that, and it's one of those name your own price games, so you can get it for free, which is why it's in free fun. But I would suggest, even if it's just $1, to get the $1. If you pay $1, by the way, you also get the soundtrack. So, I mean, it's just $1. Come on, guys.
And that's in both MP3 and FLAC. So for all you people who are like, I don't listen to MP3s. MP3s are too compressed. There's a FLAC for it.
I mean, even if it's just $1, it helps support the dev. If you have more, that's awesome too. If you want to support the dev, come on. Devs support devs. Gamers support devs. Devs support gamers. We all support each other. It's an amazing community, which is why I love you all. Yep. So go support.
T-Bone Independent Software Solutions, and that is a mouthful. I'm just going to call them T-Bone Independent Software. And Funky Ape Studios collaborated on this game. They're actually, it is currently PC only, as far as I'm aware.
Mac and Linux.
Windows, Mac, and Linux, sorry. But they're also they're working to fund the game for Android, iOS, and the Ouya. They're kind of running a side program on there. They've currently got a goal of $500 to get that ported out for iOS, Android, and the Ouya. So, chip in a couple of bucks there. They've got a $5 and a $1 claim. So.
Yeah, that's not $500. That's not much. They can make that, and not to mention, I think this game would actually play really really well on like iPad or something like that.
Oh yeah, I can see myself sitting in a train station playing this.
Absolutely,
yeah, definite.
So is that everything? All the information you have for that?
That's pretty much all I've got on it. It's got 50 plus levels that differ in the puzzles that you have to do, and if you complete each level perfectly with the stated goal of number of universe loops that you create, then you get a coin that you can spend on upgrades. I haven't been able to find out where that happens yet because I've been too busy playing the game.
And just a shout out to the developer, T-Bone ISS, for sending us this information. He sent it to us via Twitter. So thank you so much for that. And if you're a dev out there who wants to do the same thing, contact us. We have a lot of ways to get contacted, which I will tell you in just a second. Before I do...
Your game does have to be fun, though.
Yeah, we will not... No, I just put this out there. We don't feature every single game that gets sent to us. Because, I mean, we have a reputation of putting out quality games that we recommend.
And we'd rather not waste our time with something bad.
Well, I don't want to sound like a dick.
I know, but...
But you know what I mean? Like, because I appreciate the support, and I want to support everyone. And, someone just starting out, it might not be a good game, but they might get better. So don't be discouraged if we don't for some reason.
It doesn't have to be the best game.
Right. And same thing goes with music. Speaking about music, if you haven't noticed the music playing, the awesome music playing in the background, that music is by a man, or a woman, actually, I don't really know, who goes by the name Schematist. And
pronounce it, okay.
Yes, that's how I pronounce it, Schematist.
It looks like Schematist.
Because I want to say schematic, but it's tist at the end. So, yeah. But we'll put that link in the description. If you have video game music, you're an indie video game musician, that you think your music is awesome and you want us to maybe put that in the background of our show and feature it and give you a little bit of the credit, also send us your information via the contact information that I will share with you in just a moment. So, indie game musicians.
I will say that from that person, Emerald Crisis is a very good song, and so is basically any of the Sonic music that they remixed is really good.
So indie game musicians, indie game devs, send us your stuff like these people did. All these people contacted us. I'll reach every once in a while. I'll reach out and just say, "Hey guys," to various platforms on the internet. Say, "Hey, if anyone's interested," but I don't really contact anyone specifically usually, unless they're pretty big studio or something like that. But if you have something that you think is awesome, send it to us. And here's how. First of all, the show is hosted on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/JaShinYa Gaming. That's JaShinya Gaming. You can also find us on Twitter, which is how T-Bone ISS contacted us. Twitter handle is @IGR Podcast. Facebook, you can contact us, facebook.com/IGR Podcast. We also have a subreddit. It's reddit.com/r/Indie Game Riot, which you can contact us on there. We're mods of the own thing, or you can just put a link in. Just make sure you follow the rules or whatever. Our website, which is currently igrpodcast.webs.com. There's a contact form there you can use, or you can just email me directly, JaShinYaGaming@gmail.com, and I, of course, will share the information with Tech and Rev if that happens.
And then both my and Rev's information is on the website, as well as the subreddit.
Right. So,
in
case I didn't talk about the subreddit.
Had to bring it up every time.
Yeah. And just to put this in there, enable the evolution, because I don't think it's been said today.
No,
it's not. Damn.
So there you go.
We got the Domino's quote. We forgot to enable the evolution.
Any last thoughts before we say goodbye?
Only that I hope I have fun at the beach on Sunday.
You pooped yourself? Oh.
Oh yeah. Sorry guys. Sorry. Luckily you can't smell it.
Yeah.
My adult diapers are full. No. I think that's pretty much it. Have a good one, Internet.
See you guys next time.
Toodles. Rev is revving up.
I wonder why we haven't made that joke yet. 11 weeks.
Week 12. Nailed it.
Yeah, basically.
We're a little slow to rev the engine here.
Oh.
Yeah, that's because Josh and I aren't too keen on sucking dick.
Oh.